Alrighty, and welcome back to Comic Book Wednesdays, a somewhat not weekly series when the Phillies are in the playoffs. Uh,
Yeah,
we're your hosts. I'm Ian,
I'm Al.
and I'm Shane.
and we are back with the first half of the last Star Wars book in the Thrawn trilogy, The Last Command, issues 1 through 3. I'm going to hand it over to our Star Wars expert, Mr. Alex.
I actually enjoyed these 3 issues quite a bit.
Good.
Um, I'm trying to read this book as not experience the novels.
Mhm.
Because you can't. You can't, like, once you've experienced the novels, these books just don't do justice. But the fact that, I'm trying to enjoy the book for what it is, and with the information that I got from these 3 issues, I enjoyed it. It felt cohesive enough that I could get a idea of the story and
I'm glad
enough enjoyment of it that it was worth the read.
I'm glad you said that because I was going into it with this same mind frame. I did not hate these books as much as I've hated some of them in the past because I retweaked the way I was looking at it. And I actually just this time around really enjoyed it. And then I'm also remembering how much I just really like the story of The Last Command.
It's
The
so
whole
good.
searching for the clones, the strategic um, efforts by Thrawn, uh, the birth of the
The
twins.
twins, yeah.
They're fantastic. And then also seeing more of the Nogiri and how Luke goes there and he gets shown respect and all that kind of stuff. That I love all
Son of Vader.
that. Son of Vader, yeah. Uh, it's I think this is between the first book and this last book. I think it really shows you how strong that the original writer Zahn was. Um, Timothy Zahn just has a real good hold on what Star Wars is,
Yeah,
which
he really
is
does.
yeah, you got a wonderful political um, drama with action, um, and between all the battles and then you have all the Senate stuff. It's so interesting, and I'm here for it. And I'll stop ranting now. Sorry.
No, you're okay. Um, what really kept me going, like, I really find these books to be kind of dense with material because I know that they're trying to pack a lot of stuff in. So there is like some times where I'm like, oh god, this is getting pretty detailed. And what I gotta say, a lot of my notes and screenshots were just absolutely how unhinged that Jedi Master is.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Sabath. Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
great as
he's.
far as that, isn't he?
Oh my god, I want to see that villain on the live screen if we ever get the chance.
Yeah. It would be awesome.
Like just to see how far gone he is, and like some of the just even in the first issue with like all of his interactions. Like he was talking to this one Captain Pahelion, and he was just like, "Yes, this is private. You need to do this for me." And the captain's like, "I'm not doing shit for you. I'm telling Thrawn everything." And then, yeah, no, I'll do this for you. No problem.
because of
Well,
force mind
yeah, he
trick.
used the mind trick on him.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
like that was. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's so dark. And then the way you read it in the novels, because it's not that he does it again. Um, and not necessarily to Pelion, but to other characters. But the way you read it in the novels, he's like, it's so, I want to say creepy. It's almost like invading. Like I can't even explain it. It's just like so
Well,
off-putting.
even the way he's like, Palion's like, you have no idea of the concept of privacy, do you? And he's like,
Uh,
your thoughts are my thoughts for the Empire. Like, you don't have a choice. It's really kind of like, ooh, you're a scumbag.
You know
And
what it reminds me of? If you ever watch a documentary about cult leaders, that's him.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. And both of you together just really explained who his character is. Like, he is this power-hungry cult leader who thinks that everybody is beneath him for his gain.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, most of my notes are of him and like how just
He's intense.
absolute unhinged he is.
Yeah, so I mean, the furthest we get so far is he's leaving the Chimera, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to Wayland to because obviously we know Luke and Han and Lando and Mara are heading that direction.
They're going to. He's going to go man the clone facility
Yeah.
on Mount Tantus.
What I find really interesting is the fact that Thrawn is like, nah, stay out of my head, you fuck, and I'm not gonna let you just pull all this shit. I think that's a really cool addition to his character, Thrawn, that he just, like, has no fucking... he's too strong-willed for Sabath to take effect on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, he also has the
The, Yasmeri or whatever they're...
Yeah. The
I
little,
always
like,
butcher the name. I'm
lizards.
glad you guys said it first.
Yeah, the little lizard guys from the planet that. God, I can't remember his name. Who's the smuggler?
Curdle. Talon Curdle.
Yes. He's the smuggler's planet.
I forget what
Speaking of
planet
him,
that is, but...
he's got a lot going on with his story right now because he's got the whole trying to bring together the smugglers to stop the Empire, basically.
Yeah.
And how far did we get with that? Has the other smugglers started to turn on him yet?
No. So
Sorry.
the thing that just happened was like they got attacked at the port that they were at, and where the hell are we getting shot from? And then Thrawn has them like trying to pin it on Talon.
Right. We haven't really gotten to the full depth of that yet.
Yeah.
Okay. That's another fascinating story. Meanwhile, he's just trying to make sure he gets things set up, and then he goes back to Mara Jade. He's trying to get back to her.
So, like, with that first issue, just kind of going through a little bit. One of the things I screenshot at the end, and like, I don't know if this is the appropriate time to ask about it, but like, Alex, I'm really hoping you might be able to shed some light on this one.
Okay.
The ending screenshot, it showed, Leia just gave birth. And it has Yoda, and I think that's Obi-Wan, and then older Anakin. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
So
I just wanted to make sure I had that
relationship.
correct.
So, I don't remember, Ian, and stop me if I'm gonna ruin anything. I think it's the next book after this that it talks about Leia and her being visited by Anakin's Force Ghost.
I don't think that's in this trilogy because I don't recall.
So there there is a book that does really dive into her dislike and hatred for her father. God damn it! I just went back down again.
Okay.
So it's kind of an interesting nod that they put him as one of the Force Ghosts looking over Han and Leia and the children.
It's it's interesting to me because it's not something that current canon Star Wars has approached all that much.
Yeah.
The whole redemption of Anakin Skywalker after Return of the Jedi. I mean, you get the glimpse of his Force Ghost
Well, I
in
mean, we're
Return of the
starting
Jedi.
to get that, yeah, but
We are without spoilers for some of the shows, but
yes.
uh, we are starting to get that. But it's not something we had necessarily approached all that much, you know.
Yeah. And what's interesting is, like, with the book that I was talking about, I forget what book it is, honestly, but she doesn't forgive him, but she reconciles with it a little bit, you know?
Yeah, well, he fucking murders her whole planet, so I kind of get
Uh,
it.
Yeah, but there's also a point where, again, I can't remember the name of the book, but I wish I did, where she finds Shimmy's journal in
Shimmy
the
being his mother,
Lars,
Anakin's mother.
yes, Anakin's mother's, her
Hmm.
grandmother's journal in the Lars family home that's no longer the Lars family home because they burnt to death. Um, so it's funny how you read more into the legends, and she gets a kind of understanding of how he went the way he did, and eventually names her third child after him.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh. What I found was kind of interesting, and like this is part of the thing that like confused me a little bit, is just going and again I don't I haven't done much of the extended universe. Just going off of the movies, she never interacted with any of these people up until like it could be implied at the end of Return of the Jedi that she maybe would have caught a glimpse of like the Force ghosts as they were all looking at Luke, but
Well, I don't think she would have even gotten that because she wasn't adept at the Force at that point. Not that she really is in these movies, but she has had a little bit of training.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's
in,
partially why I was kind of surprised of like here's the kids and then there's Yoda, Obi-Wan, who she has like really no connection to, and then her dad.
well, in this continuity, we don't know what her connection is to Obi Wan.
She has much more connection to Obi-Wan than they let on because there's stuff that comes, like, there's a whole, and I never read this book because I didn't read that far back, connection where Obi-Wan is on Tatooine, and he goes on a whole bunch of missions. Like the Obi-Wan show didn't really do it justice, but there is a lot of that type of stuff that Obi-Wan goes on when he's in uh, exile.
Right. Have you seen the Obi Wan Kenobi show as of yet, Shane?
Yeah, I watched all of it.
Okay. Okay. So then you seem like, at least in canon Star Wars, there is somewhat of a connection there.
Yeah, like where he met Leia as a child and like basically saved her life and then she like formed that connection later on. It was nice, like it was a nice watch. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah, it was a nice watch. But yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. There is not a lot of whole interaction with those people. I mean, she's never met Yoda, but perhaps they see these new Force children as a way for the Skywalker legacy to continue, um, and that's why they like shine down through the Force. You know?
As a joke, like you have to think. I think of it like this: like there's this massive galaxy with all these different people, and yet one family manages to fuck it up every time.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
But I mean, that ending panel for that first issue, it was a lovely piece of artwork, and that was one of the reasons I screenshotted it, is because the way was designed was quite beautiful.
Agreed.
No, it was definitely these 3 books I think have been the best books out of the entire series.
I can agree with that. I really got a good hint, and I even looked back at them again, and so for me to dive back into them twice, because I read it like a couple weeks ago when we thought we were initially going to record this, um, and then getting back into it, and I just have a good appreciation for these books. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. A lot of the stuff that's happening, like some of it is going a little over my head, but
Well, and
for
if
the
any of
things
that
that
stuff
are,
goes over your head, you can always ask about it. It's like we don't have to just talk about it here. There's a lot of things I know that I can explain to you if you have questions.
well, mainly like what really has been catching my attention is the interactions between Thrawn and this Jedi, the Jedi Master, and just I love seeing how like culty and unhinged he is. And then it seems like Luke and Leia and Han are doing a good job of reacting to the situation while also trying to prevent the situation.
Yeah.
Like really putting Thrawn ahead, and that's I'm enjoying that too. The smuggler stuff, that's been confusing me a little bit as we read it, just because that to me is kind of dense.
Okay.
And I'm doing my best to like catch up with it as much as I can, and like these 3 issues did a better job of like explaining things to me. So I agree with the two of you. These ones are some of the best ones that we've read so far.
Right. That's good. I'm glad you're enjoying them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The story does come together real nicely, so I hope that by the end of it you're like, oh, this was definitely like worth the read, and I enjoy this story, and I hope it pushes you to read a little bit more of Legends Star Wars, because there's a lot of good content there, and it's
There's
a
a ton of amazing content.
Yeah. And it definitely is. I mean, I've joked with you about this before, but I think the only reason that that Al is having me do this is because he's slowly trying to corrupt me so that when I go to watch the next Star Wars movie, I can be like, you pieces of shit.
I
know that's the
100%. And I'm so glad you figured that out.
Well, it's bad because it's working.
It's funny you say that, because I started this whole thing because I wanted the two of you, when you watch Secret Wars, to be like, ah, yeah, I remember that. But what's probably going to probably end up happening is we're probably going to have the same reaction. Those pieces of shit. I know what could have been.
God, the damn mouse is at it again.
Yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit. You guys wondered why I hate that motherfucker so much.
We're gonna get off track here a little bit, but I saw a TikTok today, and I don't know if it's true. I haven't done enough extensive research yet on it, but supposedly during the strikes, Kevin Feige went and watched all the footage of Daredevil that they filmed, and was reading all the stuff they had, and was like, "Nope, this is all fucking shit. Throw it out. Start over."
Yeah, he's really upset with the direction of the
I heard about that
shows.
too, actually.
Yeah. So like supposedly they're scrapping their whole format for the TV shows. They're getting away from the big supposed to be movies, but they're really 6-episode shows, and they're gonna go more towards traditional ways that they write TV with like a pilot. They'll shoot a pilot. They'll try to get the series greenlit, and they'll go from there. Which they need to, if they're going to do TV, they have to do something like that. I mean,
yeah, no, like the 6-episode thing is really a shitty way of going about it, in my opinion.
I would rather them just do like a movie for Disney Plus. Like, let's not fuck around. Let's just do this movie, and then we'll go from there.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, like, let me take the Obi-Wan show as an example to bring us back to Star Wars. It was nice for me to see, like, this extra stuff. And, I know that they're making the Heir to the Empire movie. And I know that they have Ahsoka. I always felt like the Disney TV shows were supposed to enhance the movies
Hmm.
rather than be little mini movies. Like that's the way I feel like it should be run. Is give me enough so that I'm enticed to see the movie, but also with some backstory, with some lore, with other characters we're not going to see in the movie that we're going to wonder about. Like, make me care.
I'd
I can
agree
agree
with
with
that.
that.
The problem I find with it is that they've wrote themselves into such a corner with this crappy universe they made. That no matter how good any of the upcoming movies or shows are, it still leads to those shitty 3 movies.
With
And that's
Star
the
Wars, man?
problem I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem I have with it.
Yeah.
Unless Filoni finds a way to retcon the whole fucking thing, there's no way that it's not going to be a shit show at the end of it.
Which at this point, I really feel like from all of the things that I've seen of all of the, there was something I was reading where it was like, George Lucas put in that line in Episode 3 of Anakin saying, "General Grievous, you're shorter than I expected." And then Dave Filoni had to go when he was making, Clone Wars, had to write the entire show being like, "Hey, Lucas said they never met. We have to make sure that they don't meet." Like that's the kind of give a shit that I want in someone who's going to like work on a project.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I think that like Filoni does give that much of a shit, and
Oh, he definitely does.
he still does, and he'll try to make it work as best as possible. Um, though I think that we have a new galaxy, and I think a lot of what we'll see will be in the new galaxy, and that's all. That's spoilers for Ahsoka, so I apologize, but
Nah, it's all good.
Ow! Fuck!
I mean, in a new galaxy, we also get the chance to, you know, see other families and other people, like other characters, which I'm happy about. That was one of the things that got me about like the continuation of Star Wars, is because when it, now I'm sidetracking us, and I apologize. When they first did, 7, 8, and 9, I was like, okay, well, are we going to see other Force users reacting to this situation? Because I would enjoy that. That'd be fun.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, like, Legends fucking did all that shit, man. Like, they fucking did that shit, Like, I had you read, I, Jedi, or
Mhm.
listen to it. Like, all that shit happens, man. Like, it's so depressing that they do it the way they did. Like,
Which I do have to bring us back to the comics because I want to make this point for how good these comics were and like how good Legends is.
excuse me.
What is up with the art on the cover page for that second issue?
Dude, I don't know. That's like some weird fucked up version of Mara or something.
Like they tried to combine her with a fox, and then the artist said, "Fuck it, this is good enough." Like
Yeah.
I just saw that and I was like, "What? Who is this?"
It was
and
bad.
speaking of Mara Jade, did Alex show you the Black Series Star Wars figure that came out for
Oh,
Mara?
man, I gotta get it. I gotta get it.
It's
No, but I
from-
saw the Karakatan comic you got. That was really awesome.
Oh, man, that was sweet. I'll have to send you a picture of the Mara Jade
Please,
action
yeah.
figure that I want to get. Dude, it's her from this comic.
It's from Dark
Ooh.
Forces.
Yeah.
What's
It's
the
pretty
what's the
fucking
price tag on
badass.
it?
I think right now it's 25.
It's not
I
Okay.
just have to buy it. That's, what's holding me back, but
I get that.
Yeah. Boom. All right. Well, let's wind this up a bit. Final thoughts on this first half of the books.
these 3 I'm pleasantly surprised with.
Yeah, I'm enjoying them.
Yeah, I'm happy with it too. It could be a lot worse. We've seen it a lot worse. The first comic being,
These ones make me happy to read this selection of comics.
I'd like to hear that. Since it was your pick, and
Yeah.
I want you to be happy with what you're picking. Bonus question: do you guys think Jazzy will ever record with us?
I do not. Unfortunately, I'd love to get his take on some of these things. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, unfortunately, he seems to be just too busy.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
So, next question. We have 3 comics left to this series. What's next?
Ooh.
Well, who's up? Is it me?
Yep. By my understanding, it's you, because I went over the summer when we had that like little mini break. We did some Power Rangers, and then it was Al. So it'd rotate back to you again, man.
I'm thinking to bring us back to Marvel.
Okay.
Have y'all read Superior Spider-Man or have heard of Superior Spider-Man?
I have heard, I've not read.
I've heard of it.
Are you both aware of why he is Superior Spider-Man?
So that is because of Octavius, correct?
Yes. And
Is this the
don't
one?
say anything more
never
unless
mind.
Shane answers.
Actually, I think I know. Is this the one where, spoiler for anybody who hadn't read this, where they body swap almost, and he realizes like how powerful Peter is, and how he's been pulling his punches? Is that this one?
Essentially, yeah. So, Al, you're familiar with the story then. I'm going to just give a quick synopsis because that's not really a spoiler. I wasn't sure how I was going to present the book to you guys. Was I going to show where were you going to start at the beginning of Superior, or start in Amazing and then transition to Superior? But if you guys both know what happens, I'm just going to start with Superior.
I mean, I have an understanding. I don't know any of the backstory of that shit, but yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Okay, so I'll give
shit.
just a brief synopsis, because this is really how the comic starts.
Sure.
Otto Octavius is dying. In his last breaths, he managed to use a brainwave swap machine to swap brainwaves with Spider-Man, trapping Pete's consciousness in his body, in Octavius's body, and Octavius' consciousness is in Peter's body. Octavius' body dies with Pete's consciousness in there, so Otto Octavius stays alive as Peter Parker, as Spider-Man. But he swears to be Spider-Man and continue on the mantle as Spider-Man, but to be the superior Spider-Man. Hence why we have the name.
There you go.
Okay.
Also,
I'm looking forward to this.
When we were reading Avengers, Pete was being a dick. It's because it was Otto.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not very Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
Okay.
that's after we finish Star Wars. That's what I want to do. Sound good?
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. How long is it, if I may ask?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Hey, no worries. I'm in for the ride.
But we'll get through pretty quick. I'm not going to do any crossover books. I'm just going to read Spider-Man.
No
Cool.
worries.
Alright, cool. I think that's everything for tonight, right?
Yeah, I
we
think that
touched on
pretty
it.
much wraps everything for tonight.
Yeah, well, thanks everybody for listening. And again, we're your hosts. I'm Ian.
I'm Al.
And I'm Shane.
Good night, everybody.